know. I can't say that that's. I'm not sure what's going on there. If that's just a coincidence or what, but yeah, and to my knowledge, there have been a few incidents where, some things have happened on planes that did have air marshals on board. The air marshals don't get involved until they're ready to shoot somebody. They will keep quiet and hide in the crowd until the very last minute. And when an air marshal stands up and identifies himself, make sure your hands are visible, be real still, and follow their instructions, because by the time they have revealed themselves, they're very much ready to shoot somebody, and they will. But I can just tell you that's about all I know about the air marshal program. That they don't come out, they don't reveal themselves until they have no choice in the matter, and that might be I don't see that as an invasion of anybody's rights or liberty. So maybe that's an okay program, but again, it's your tax dollars at work. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? We can debate that. I'm more comfortable with that than I am with, with having to get naked every day when I go to work or
amen to that.
Fondled.
Hey, now, Michael, you've heard also about when we talk about like who are non-representing representatives actually represent. You've heard Michael Chertoff, of course, is a CEO of one of the companies that make these backscatter X-ray machines. Isn't that interesting that the former head of Homeland Security actually has a vested interest in making sure as many of these things get sold?
Yeah, there's nothing new there for sure. Yeah, you're right. No. It is very interesting, but that's politics as usual and business as usual in many sectors. The difference here is, and it's not good, but the reality is, we have accepted a certain amount of corruption in the way things are done in the world, but they've taken it to another level when not only are they doing little deals and kickbacks and things behind closed doors and under the table. They're doing those things, but in doing this in this context, it's a hostile takeover against the American people, the sovereignty of law-abiding American citizens. Now they're not just pilfering your wallets and so forth, but they're actually enslaving the American people. They're taking control of your body of all things. The corruption is rampant in this. Back in August, I sent a letter to the airline when these rules were announced, and I just told them, and a couple other pilots signed on it with me. We expressed our rejection of these new policies. We told them, we do not consent. This is not okay. Sorry, we're not going to be able to comply with this. And in composing that letter, I did a lot of research. And follow the money. Follow the money on this, and you will see there's not a clean spot on it. The whole thing is as dirty as it could possibly be. From top to bottom, it's truly a corrupt thing. This thing was put together by criminals, and and they have nothing but bad intentions for us.
Michael,
hold on, Griff. Before we go to break, I want to bring on a caller, let me get this knocked out before we go to break. Jeanette, you're live on the show. Go ahead.
Hi. I wondered, because they are doing this to try and control the public, do you think that they'll also be putting these nude scanners and pat-down procedures on any kind of travel, like trains and buses?
Oh, I think it's only a matter of time. If we don't stop it where it is now and send them back to Washington and, and make them go away here, it's going to spill out into the streets. And I think basically if everybody is a suspect at the airport because somebody might do something wrong or because somebody has in the past done something wrong, then what's to stop that same logic being applied anywhere else, at a sporting stadium, at a shopping center, at a place of worship? All of those are places where somebody, where people gather, somebody might do something wrong, and where people have done, bad things in the past and killed a lot of people. So, hey, they got to protect us. There's all these bad things that might happen everywhere we go. well, it's for your own good. We're going to have to put put an AIT scanner at the doorway to the sanctuary in your church on Sunday morning, and the grocery store, and you name it. Yeah, why not? Why not? If it makes sense and it's okay in the airports, it makes sense everywhere else, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense at all. It's crazy.
No, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
No, it certainly doesn't.
No,
it's a gross invasion of our rights.
I'm sorry. Another fear I have is that, do you think there could be maybe a plane explode during all of this, just to make sure that we use the scanners and don't balk at them anymore?
Well, wasn't it interesting? Remember just a couple weeks ago, very shortly after my incident, about a month ago, the thing about the printer cartridges in the cargo holds.
Yeah.
Now, that's really, not that AIT scanners or frisking would have prevented that, but it was almost, hey, what if we found something in the belly of an airplane and just reminded people that there's a threat here? I don't know. Again, conspiracy theory, I don't want to sound, too out there, but how interesting was the timing on that?
Yeah.
No, it's very true. And Jeanette, thank you so much for the call. In closing, Michael, before we do that, Griff, I know you had something to say, so by all means, go ahead and say it.
Michael, you're obviously a good guy, and I don't want to do anything that would get you in trouble in the airline industry. So I just want to put this on the record. Michael, you need not reply to this. Think about what's going on here. We're worried about being searched, but the very aircraft that you're flying is spraying people with lethal compounds, and it is doing it, and it's Project Cloverleaf out of the airlines. The CIA ran it for years, and they twisted the arm of the airlines to incorporate this into their programs. If the pilot or any of the mechanics ask about this, they will be fired, and pressure will be put on their families. So on one hand, we're worried about being searched, but the same aircraft is spraying people with everything, including Magellan's disease.
I think Griff, one of the things, at least this is my philosophy on it. At this point in time, we have to fight the fights that we can win, and I think that the battle for this X-ray machine and groping debacle can be won. I honestly really think it can be won.
And if we win that, if we can win that battle, let me just say this. I've put the call out there to professionals in every industry, medical professionals, airline mechanics, you name it, people whose jobs are bogged down in bureaucracy, broadcast professionals, you deal with the FCC. We all deal with this kind of government BS, and it's wrong, and it makes our jobs less effective, less functional, less efficient. If you know it's wrong, whatever you're dealing with at the hospital, wherever you work, if you know that this bureaucracy and these regulations are wrong to the point that it's undermining the principles of a free and just society, stand against it. Do what I do. I'm just one guy. I'm a very poorly paid, insignificant little guy. And yet, look at, my goodness, we really kicked up a storm here. Let's take our country back, and let's have a smaller government. Let's make the state be less and less relevant as we go into the future. And then, what you're talking about regarding the chemtrails and all of that, well, the people perpetrating all that stuff will have less and less power, less and less influence to be able to coerce anybody into doing that kind of evil stuff. We just need to shrink the state as small as we possibly can and start taking care of ourselves and meeting our own needs and stop looking to Big Brother to do it for us, because they're just going to do crazy stuff like that and abuse us with it.
Amen to that. Michael, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I welcome you back anytime. That's Michael Roberts, folks, from FedUpFlyers. Is it .org, Michael?
.org, FedUpFlyers.org. Please go check it out. There's lots of stuff there.
Great. We'll be right back, folks. King's Court coming up, and Mel Fabregas. Stand by.
Did you ever wish that you could have done something while you still had the chance? What will you do if your income ends tomorrow? Or if you lose your home, as many already have? Do you have enough money to survive through an economic depression? If you don't want to gamble with your future, then FreeToProsper.com can help you quickly end your debt problems, protect your property and possessions, and develop a personal strategy to get you through the hard times. Most importantly, you get to keep your money and not pay another cent to creditors. Our program is often superior to bankruptcy, consolidation, or settlement. Visit FreeToProsper.com to find out more. This is your real chance to act ahead, so don't delay. Your future may depend on it. Call 718-615-0123 to learn more. That's 718-615-0123. Or visit FreeToProsper.com today.
In a world where corrupt oppressors and all oligarchs have seized control of the populations, total tyranny is amongst us. The burden of humanity rests on our shoulders. The only way out is to expose the global crime syndicate known as the New World Order. Together, we are all one. Together, we are Intel soldiers. The battle for free humanity ensues. Join us in the fight. TheIntelHub.com.
Secure your future. Get your non-hybrid seed pack now. With the looming economic crisis, food shortages, and other toxic disasters, now is the time to be ready. Just click on the Heirloom Organics banner at the top of our Blog Talk Radio page today. Secure your future and the future of your family in hard times. Heirloom Organic Seeds.
Hi, this is Bob Tuskin. Tune into my show, Truth Be Told Radio, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
You are listening to the Intel Hub News Network, crushing the New World Order piece by piece.
All right, we're back, folks. Again, Michael Roberts, his website is fedupflyers.org. It's under construction, but there's a lot of good information on there, and I think he's got a blog where you can leave comments as well, so by all means do so. But without further ado, folks, I'd like to bring on John King for his daily edition of King's Court. John, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Hello, everyone. Well, some of you may remember on my last King's Court segment, I talked about Sarah Palin having a show on the Learning Channel called Sarah Palin's Alaska. I also mentioned that this was a move by the powers that be to introduce her to the American public, Brady Bunch style, for a run at 2012 presidency. Well, I didn't use the WebBot or any other program. I did, however, use the WebButt. You see, when I did my last King's Court, it was an opinion based on knowing the New World Order somewhat and how they play the game that led me to that conclusion. Remember, they said that she lost with McCain was because no one really knew who she was. So basically, folks, I was talking out my ass. Ergo, I have my very own WebButt. Here is what my ass says for the future within the next 6 months. The TSA will back down from their cop-a-field campaign known as Friendly Flyer and revert back to the normal TSA pat-down practice. However, explosive sniffing dogs will now be employed at the airport screening section to sniff your crotch and aid in any pat-downs. This new operation will be called Operation Scratch and Sniff. So saith the WebButt. Now you will have a choice. Get filled up by a TSA geek that's 40 years old and wears a name badge and still is a virgin,